In this video, we're going to solve the equation c divided by -2 equals -3. And I'm going to actually solve it twice. I'll show you two different methods and then you can choose the method you like better. The first method, I'll tell you straight up, it's longer, but it's also easier to visualize. So some people figure, well, it only takes me an extra 30 seconds, but I'm more confident with my steps when I do it this way. And the second method I'll show you is quicker, but it's harder to visualize what's happening. So watch them both and then decide what you like better. Both of them are good methods. Alright, so the first method, the first thing it depends on is this fact here, c divided by -2. Another way to think of that is to take the negative and essentially put it out front. So it's the same thing as negative c divided by 2, or a half of c. So that's really important for this method here. And that's equal to -3. Okay, so what we can imagine here, make a little balance scale down at the bottom over here. So I'm going to do it with the algebra tiles, and you may or may not want to do it with the algebra tiles depending, but I'll show you with the algebra tiles now so you can imagine what's going on. So the right side is easy, that's -3. So my red is negative with these tiles. So I'll write this over here. So the -3 on the right is easy to imagine. Now we need to think of what is negative c divided by 2, or half of c. So what it is, this is my negative variable tile, and so half of it, we'd have just this much here. Okay? So this part of my -c is equal to -3. All right. So the first thing we'd like to do, I would like to take my finger off of this, and we'd like to have a whole variable tile here. So what we're going to do, here we have -c divided by 2 is equal to -3. And I'm going to take that and I'm going to double both sides. Because if I double half of c, then I'll get the other half of c. And that'll be, if I double -c, I'll get the other half of -c. So multiply this side by 2, so I'd have a whole -c. That means I'll also multiply that side by 2. Okay, so what that gives me, half of -c times 2 is a whole of -c. -c over here. And over here, if I double this side, I just get another 3 negatives. Okay? So this 2 times -3 is -6. Alright, now you've probably seen an equation like this before. Just a quick reminder, when we're solving an equation, our final answer is not going to be what -c is going to be equal to, it's going to be what c is equal to. So one way to figure out what c is, not the quickest way, but I think the easiest way to visualize. If we add c to both sides, then what we'll get here is a 0 pair, so that'll be gone. And our c will be over here on the right side, but it'll be positive. So that's what we're going to do. We'll add c to both sides. Here we've got 0 pairs, so that's gone, that's 0. It's worth nothing. So 0 equals -6 plus c. Sometimes people are a bit worried about what to do with 0 if you have 0 on one side. Nothing, you don't need to do anything. It's just like any other number there. Now we've got our c, it's positive, we have a whole c, so things are going well. And we just need to isolate it. So we want to not have this -6 on the same side. So what we can do there is we can add +6 to both sides. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on the right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on the left. Okay, so I'll write that down with the algebra as well. So +6 +6. So what we get, of course, on the left side, easy peasy, that's 6. On the right side, each of these, we can match each red up with a beige. It makes a 0 pair. So if you imagine doing that 6 times, all of this is worth 0. Negative 6 plus 6 is 0. So all we have left here is a C. So our solution is 6 equals C. Alright, now I also promised you a quicker method. For this one, I think the algebra tiles are not helpful. Not even necessarily to imagine them. I'm going to put a dotted line here. So this is method 2, which is quicker. So we'll copy the equation here. What this method depends on is just reasoning about opposite operations. If we have C, we're dividing it by negative 2. If we multiply it by negative 2 now, then dividing and multiplying by the same number are opposites, so they undo each other. So that is useful, because then we'll sort of get rid of the negative 2. Alright, so I'm going to multiply the left side by negative 2. The reason I want to do this is to undo the dividing by negative 2. So then I also have to multiply the right side by negative 2. So what that gives me on the left is just C, which is why we did it. And on the right, negative 2 times negative 3 is positive 6. So I hope you understand both methods. Feel free to use the method you choose. They're both good. Neither one of them I don't think has a really big advantage or disadvantage in the long term. Try to understand them both and then choose the one you like better. All right, thanks a lot. Good luck.